When graphing tangent function, it is usually appropriate to graph one period. This means that you first need to find the period of the function and then find its vertical asymptotes. Once you have the two consecutive vertical asymptotes, you need to find where it crosses the x-axis between them, and it's typically right in the middle. Then draw a curve that represents tangent. So we're going to graph each tangent function, and one period is sufficient for each one. So we're going to start off with y equals tangent of 2x. So this has the basic form of y equals a tangent kx, where k is equal to 2, the number right next to x. Now, we get k, so we can actually get the period. The period is just pi over k. So our period is going to be pi over 2. Now we still got to find the vertical asymptotes, and we can find that by finding the interval. The interval can be found by doing negative pi over 2k to pi over 2k. With k being 2, that means our interval is going to be negative pi over 4 to pi over 4. Now this is the interval that we're going to graph, but this also corresponds to being the vertical asymptotes. This one here and this one here. So there are my two consecutive vertical asymptotes. So going to graph my function now, and I'm going to say that this here is negative pi over 4. So this is one vertical asymptote. And then right here is my other vertical asymptote, pi over 4. And like I said, where it crosses the x-axis is right in the middle between the two. Now this has no vertical shift, so it makes it easier. If it does have a vertical shift, where it crosses the x-axis will change. But because this has no vertical shift, it's going to be square in the middle, right there. And the basic shape of tangent, because this has no reflections or anything like that, it's just going to look like this. And there is my graph for this tangent function. Next we have y equals tangent of 2 times x plus pi over 2. So this actually has a phase shift. This has a horizontal shift. Now the basic form of this equation is y equals a tangent of k times x minus b, with b being the phase shift. So we're going to go through the same steps we did before. I'm going to first find out what k is, and k is just that number right here in front of the parentheses, so k here is 2 again. Now my period is the same as before. It's just going to be pi over k, so pi over 2. Now I still got to find the vertical asymptotes, but there is a shift, a pi over 2 shift. So we have to be careful with that. But let's assume it doesn't exist for now. We'll come back to it in a second. The interval, just like before, is negative pi over 2k to pi over 2k. We just plug in k, and we'd have an interval of negative pi over 4 to pi over 4. But there is a shift. Now we have a minus b here, but it's a plus pi over 2 in here. So that means to make this a plus, this needs to be a negative number. So b here is negative pi over 2, which means it's shifted left by pi over 2. So we're going to actually subtract pi over 2 from both of these here. So when we subtract negative pi over 2 and minus pi over 2 to both of these, we're going to get an interval that is negative 3 pi over 4 to negative pi over 4. And again, these are the vertical asymptotes. So going to graph it. And so these are both on the opposite side, the other side of the y-axis. So I'm going to say that this is negative 3 pi over 4. And I'll say that this is negative pi over 4 here. And again, right in the middle, because there is no vertical shift, this is right where it's going to cross the x-axis. So it's going to be right in the middle. So I'm just going to go up, connect it, and go through. And there is my graph for this tangent function.